Hi there. Today I wanted to show you, trying to save you some problems you might have later that I ran into. I recently just upgraded my bagger gauges to the Medallion gauges. Great instrumentation, looks fantastic. Just had some issues with the installation part of it. The hookup of the wires in particular. This is for 96 to 03. Mine's a 2002. I would assume that they would all be the same. But the instructions that come with the Medallion gauges are no good. They just don't walk you through where you have to splice the wires in. So what I wanted to show you is how to hook this up. All of the wires that come with your Medallion gauge, as you can see here, there's a little piece that hopefully you can see this, that's branched off for 96 to 03. The newer ones, to my understanding, are all plug and play. But these are the ones that were the problem, where we have to tie into the factory gauges. And you have the tachometer and the tachometer, and this was the original speedometer wire. You have to tie into they are color coordinated and do come out the same. The orange and white backlight in. There are two of those orange and whites on the Medallion wire harness. One will go directly to the orange and white that is on your speedometer wire. The other one is left out there, and there is no other wire to tie into it. But all of your original gauges had an orange wire. All we're looking for is an ignition wire with that backlight in. I don't know if that's showing up. But anyway, I hooked that up with an ignition hot, and the other one goes into the factory harness. The pink and the green and red are the only two wires that will end up going into your tachometer plug. Again, it's the pink and the green and red. Those plug into the tachometer plug. The rest of those will plug into the original speedometer wires, and they are color coordinated, will match up fine. Green, white, red. Now there's two grounds, two black ones on your speedometer plug. I had a problem. I hooked up one of them, as you can see here. Both of those have to be hooked up in order for the speedometer to work. There is a chance the speedometer ground, I don't know. I had a terrible time trying to get a hold of Medallion. They wouldn't return calls. I did email them. Finally did get the response that the ground for the speedometer has to be hooked up. And he told me to hook up both black ground wires from the speedometer. So I have two black going into the ground from their harness. Now the battery, there is no battery plug anywhere on the plugs we talked about. What I had to do with the battery plug is I came down with my test light and I tied into the harness, which would go into the radio, because they're wanting a constant hot there. So I did have to improvise there. Again, no instructions included, but I tied into a battery hot. I was able to find that down below here in the wire harness, the red, but you can do that with a probe pretty easily and find a constant hot. The rest of it's all very straightforward. You don't use the clamps that came with the factory instruments, except for the speedometer and the tachometer. But I hope that helps. I had a lot of problems trying to find the specific instructions. The instructions don't say, they basically say plug and play. And that is not the case. There's other wires that need to be included. And there you go. Again, everything is hooked up other than the constant battery is hooked up elsewhere. You have to find that off a wire in your stereo or somewhere. And then the second orange wire, they don't cover. And also the rest of those, both grounds getting hooked up. Anyway, be safe out there, just trying to help somebody out. Thank you, and God bless.